if like I'm unaware that you can't hear me or something like that, then please feel free to unmute yourself and tell me. So, yeah, so I'm teaching core or power, and then Kim will teach the second half, which will be restore. So let's just go ahead and get started. Find a seat at the top of your mat. So I'm going to face towards you guys so you can face the top of your mat. And then take a moment and just kind of get your wiggles out. So it might feel really good to stretch your arms up, stretch from side to side. Maybe you just want to kind of roll your shoulders around a little bit or roll your head from side to side. So just notice what's going on in your body, what feels good, what might feel a little tight, and then eventually find your way to stillness. So sit up nice and tall with a long spine, length in the back of your neck, draw up through the crown of your head, and then be intentional with where you place your hands. So maybe you just rest your hands on your lap, maybe you bring your hands to your heart, maybe one hand to your heart space, one hand to your belly. Close your eyes, and then take these first couple moments to just arrive on your yoga mat. So physically, energetically, emotionally, just bring yourself into this present moment, into the space that you are in, and then into your own body. So start to notice everything that creates this moment as it is. So the ground underneath you, the air around you, maybe the temperature of the air around you, and then any sounds you might be able to hear further away, closer up. And then bring your awareness to what's going on inside. So physical sensations that are present. And then even energetically, how do you feel? And emotionally, what have you brought with you to class from your day? So we're not trying to change anything or control or fix anything. We're just simply noticing, observing. And then start to bring more awareness and more attention to your breath. And let's just kind of drop in with 3 great big deep breaths. So next time you inhale, fill up as big as you can and then hold at the very, very top. See if you can even sip in just a little tiny bit more when you think you're full. And then exhale, open mouth, sigh, release. Do that 2 more times. So inhale, fill up. Hold in fullness. And as you hold this breath, see if you can relax and soften around it. Exhale, open mouth, sigh, let it go. Ha. 1 more time. So biggest inhale you have taken all day long. Hold at the top. Any stress, anxiety, any heaviness you are holding, just exhale, breathe it out, let it go, soften, rinse. Seal your lips gently now and start to engage your ujjayi breath. So in and out through your nose, gentle constriction in the back of your throat. And you can stay here just connecting to your breath, finding your own internal rhythm for as long as you'd like. So think of this as just a seated meditation. When you're ready to add movement, come forward to your hands and your knees. And as you come forward to hands and knees, go ahead and just hit play. So turn your music, your playlist on. No rush. And then once you are with me on hands and knees, just start to explore your own intuitive movement through your spine. So this is how I've been starting almost every single class that I teach lately. I think it feels just so good to move through the spine, the shoulders, the hips. And it's one of the best ways to kind of get more intimate with our own bodies, with our own breath, and how we feel, how our bodies can move, and the energy we hold there. So you can stick with cat-cows if you just want to keep it simple. You can take your hips in circles. You might start to bend your elbows, take your chest towards the ground. Maybe you sit back into a child's pose. Maybe you spin your fingers back to face your knees. And sometimes I like to take cat-cows with my fingertips facing back instead of forward. So absolutely no right or wrong here. You're just using this time to get into your body. So I really encourage, at least for this first part, I encourage you to keep your eyes closed and see if you can allow yourself to go in. So rather than worrying about how do I look, am I doing this right? Focus on what you feel and what your body is experiencing, on the sensations that are there. So I'd say move in this way, just this unstructured movement, for about 3 to 5 more breaths. And then when you feel complete here, downward facing dog is eventually where we will all end up. So you can get there in your own time. You can even get there in your own way. So if you want to move through a vinyasa, if you want to take a hovering tabletop for a moment, kind of really find the strength in your arms, your belly, and then slowly take it back to down dog. So lots of different ways we can explore, even in our transitions. Once you are in your down dog, and no rush, but you've got a few deep breaths, so start to explore there. So in your dog pose, don't worry, especially for this first one, don't worry about getting your legs completely straight or your heels flat on the ground. Focus more on lengthening from your fingertips all the way up to your sit bones. So I always say this, you guys have heard me probably so many times, but I think it's a good reminder every single time. So imagine you've got a rope attached to your belly button and it's pulling up towards the ceiling and it's tugging towards the back of the room you are in. So you find this lift coming from your center and it takes weight out of your hands and weight out of your shoulders. So ideally you don't feel like all of your weight is moving down or all of the energy is moving down. You want to feel a lifting up or a buoyancy. Pedal out your heels, shake your head yes or no, maybe take your feet out wide and kind of transfer your weight on the diagonal. So any way you want to explore your down dog. Big deep breaths. Take one more great big inhale. And then as you exhale, look forward to the top of your mat, step, tiptoe, or hop, forward fold. Once you've arrived, find a halfway lift. So inhale and lengthen. Bring your feet hips width distance apart if they're not already. All 10 toes face forward. And then bring your left fingertips to the ground underneath your chest. Bend your left knee a lot. Right arm to the sky. Twist. So you want a nice long line from the top of your head back to your right hip or your right sit bone. Imagine you're trying to pull your right sit bone back towards the back of your mat, but then stay rooted down through the inner edge of your right foot. So your right leg is as straight as you can get it. Maybe you bend your left knee a little bit more, and then reach your right fingertips even higher. Feel that twist coming from your center. One more round. End of your exhale, unwind and switch sides. So right fingertips to the ground, right knee bends a lot, left arm reaches up. You can gaze up at your left hand, or you can let your neck relax and your head be heavy, so kind of a forest yoga style. And then see if you can straighten your left leg a little bit more. Drag your left hip energetically back. Keep the inner edge of your left foot rooted. Take one more round, and as you exhale, twist. End of your exhale, unwind. And then pause here for just a moment, ragdoll. So grab opposite elbows, maybe let your torso kind of sway or bob. Keep your weight forward in the front half of your feet so your heels are light. And then really think of lifting your butt up as you reach the crown of your head down. See if you can feel that invisible rope, even here, pulling up on your belly button. So you want to feel that lift. Take one more round. And then end of your exhalation, let go of your elbows and just as slow as you can, roll all the way up to stand. So let your arms and your head hang heavy. And then at the very, very top, your head stacks, your shoulders roll back and down, your palms open to face forward. This is mountain pose. Close your eyes for just a moment here. Feel your body from the inside. Feel energy moving through it, breath moving through it. If there is an intention that you want to bring into your own practice tonight, then take just a moment to focus in on it, to complete your thoughts about it. Maybe it's some sort of visualization. And then next time you breathe in, stay as you are, breathe in as big as you can, and imagine you could breathe your intention into every little space inside of you. Fill up with it. Hold, and exhale, blast it out into the universe, send it out. Ha. Ujjayi breath, let's flow. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, lead with your heart, slow swan dive down. So traction out your spine, then fold in. With your inhalation, lift up halfway. Exhale, refold. Press into your feet, reverse swan dive to stand. So come through a halfway lift and continue to rise. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and we'll do one more round just like that. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, swan dive down. So keep your weight forward in your feet, reach your butt back, but keep a little micro bend in your knees. Maybe it's a big bend. Fold in. With your inhale, halfway lift. So how much length can you create here? Exhale, fold, let it go. Now from the press of your feet, reverse swan dive to stand all the way up. Inhale, stretch your arms up, maybe take your gaze up. And exhale, hands to heart. All right, inhale, take your arms to the sky, and then bring your big toes to touch, little gap in between your heels. Bend your knees, so sit back into a chair pose. Left arm reaches forward and right arm reaches back, so you're twisting to the right. Try to keep the crown of your head drawing straight up, so you're not leaning forward. Feel this twist coming from your center. Squeeze through your upper legs, through your inner thighs. And then see if you can twist just a little bit further right at your belly button. Maybe gaze back over your right fingertips. Take one more round. Inhale, high mountain. So unwind and stretch. Reach up. Exhale, twisted chair, other side. So bend your knees this time. Right arm forward, left arm back. Draw up through the crown of your head. Weight is in your heels. You should be able to pick up your toes and spread them. Imagine that you had something in front of your right hand you could push your right hand into, and then from there, twist just a little further. One more round. Inhale, high mountain, unwind, reach up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Find a little baby back bend. Press your hips just gently forward. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, slow dive down. You can widen your feet if you'd like to as you dive. On an inhale, lift halfway. And then exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank position. So shoulders over wrists, hips level with your shoulders. If you want to modify, you can come to your knees at any time. Take a great big inhale. And then as you exhale, lift your hips and press them back. Imagine that rope pulling up on your belly button, tugging back. Inhale, roll forward to high plank. So maybe even round your spine like you're doing a cat pose, and then find length. You're on your tippy toes here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips, press them back. This time we're gonna add a push-up. So inhale, roll forward to your plank. Exhale, lower halfway. Come to your knees if you'd like. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, down dog, take it back. One more like that. Inhale, forward. Exhale, halfway down. Use your knees if you want to. Inhale, press up. Exhale, takes you back, down dog. This time, inhale, come forward to your high plank. Exhale, slow motion all the way to your belly. One strong, straight line. Spider-Man Cobra. So bring your hands out wide so they're framing your mat. Lift your fingertips like you've got little cupcakes underneath your hands. You're trying not to squish them. And then elbows face the sky. Lift your chest up. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, twist to the right and dip your left shoulder down. Inhale, come back to center, heart lifts, belly tones. Exhale, twist to the left of your right shoulder down. Go once more to each side with your own breath at your own pace. And then eventually an inhale will bring you back to center. Exhale will release you down, and then find a tabletop position. So just hands and knees, all fours. All right, so wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread your fingers wide and really push the ground away so you feel strength in your arms, strength in your shoulders. Draw your belly button in and up so your belly's not dropping down. So you don't want to be in a cat pose or a cow pose. You want that happy medium right in between. Keep that, and then take your right arm forward, your left leg back, spinal balance. So rather than thinking of a smiley face shape from your fingertips back to your heel, think of one strong, straight, powerful line of energy. Take one more big inhale, pull yourself apart. Exhale slowly, elbow to knee underneath you, so round your spine and hollow out your belly. Inhale, re-extend, lengthen. Exhale, slow motion, elbow to knee, like you're moving through wet cement. Curl in, draw your belly button in and up. Inhale, lengthen, and then last time, exhale, elbow to knee. So the slower you move, the deeper you will get into your muscles. Inhale, re-extend, reach and press. Now from here, bring just your right hand down, pivot on your right knee so your right foot comes out like a little kickstand behind you, and then left arm to the sky, modified side plank. So if it feels like your butt is sticking out behind you, squeeze your outer right butt cheek and try to press your hips forward, so towards the left side of your mat. Reach your left arm forward towards the top of your mat, and then lengthen through from your fingertips back to your toes, like you're trying to pull yourself apart. Take one more big inhale here. Stay here if you'd like, otherwise exhale, bend your left knee, reach back, grab hold of your left foot. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot, so see if you can find that quad stretch by using the leverage of your hand against your foot. Keep spreading through your left toes, and then possibly rotate your heart to look up at the sky. Breathe. Take about 2 more rounds. End of your next exhalation, slowly release, unwind, come back to your hands and your knees. And then from here, we're gonna set up for a forearm plank pose. So forearms to the ground. If it's helpful setting up, you can grab opposite elbows. That's how far apart you want your arms. And then forearms parallel, palms face down, fingers spread wide. Or if you'd rather, you can interlace your fingers. That will be a little less intense. So gaze down, make the back of your neck long, and then step one foot and the other foot to the back of your mat, forearm plank. So really think of pushing down through the belly of your forearms, and then draw your belly button in and up. Breathe into your back body. If you want less, your knees can come down at any time. If you want more, keep your hips level with your shoulders, but bend your knees so they hover above the ground. And then energetically pull your elbows back and pull your toes forward. Draw your belly button in and up. Take 3 more breaths. Don't let your elbows drift apart. Keep pressing down through your forearms. Breathe into your back body. One last round. Now stick with me. End of your exhale, dolphin pose. So walk your toes towards your elbows. Lift your hips high. That invisible rope, again, it's pulling up on your belly button. Try not to let your elbows drift apart, and your head should not be touching the ground. So if it is, that means you're not using the strength in your shoulders as much as you could be. Press down through the belly of your forearms even more. Take about 3 more rounds. Option to take your right leg to the sky if you would like. If you want to take little hops towards forearm stand, you're more than welcome to. Wherever you're at, find those big, deep breaths. Take one last round. And then end of your exhalation, feet down, knees down, child's pose. embryo pose, so you can reach your hands back towards your heels or grab your heels, or hero's pose, just seated meditation, kneeling position. So take a moment here, reconnect. Notice how your body feels, notice how your breath feels. If it has sped up, see if you can slow it down. If you've lost it altogether, fire it back up, cultivate it once again. And then in your next couple of rounds, downward facing dog. All right, from your down dog, next time you breathe in, take your right leg to the sky. So pause here for just a moment. Press up with your right foot, make your right leg straighter, stronger, and more powerful. Press down through your hands and see if you can lengthen the space underneath your armpits. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, or as close as you can come. Inhale, three-legged dog, right leg high. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, or aim for your armpit, so as high as you can get on your arm. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to your nose, so scoop out your belly. Stay here, take a big, huge inhale. See if you can round your back more, lift your right shin higher. Exhale, step your right foot to the top of your yoga mat. Rise to crescent lunge when you're ready. So front knee over front ankle. High on the ball of your back foot. Drive your feet down and energetically pull front heel back, back toes forward. Low abdominals are toned, chest is lifted, arms reach, fingers spread, breathe. So maybe even close your eyes here for a moment, challenge your balance and go in, feel this pose from the inside. Take one more in-breath. And then as you exhale, turbo twist to the right. So bend your back knee, left arm forward, right arm back. Back knee is hovering above the ground. Imagine you're trying to pull your front hip back and your back thigh forward. Squeeze through your inner thighs, broaden through your collarbones, through the front of your shoulders. Maybe gaze back over your right fingertips. Take one more big, deep breath, and maybe tap your back knee gently to the ground. Inhale back to crescent. Exhale, bring your hands down. Left hand or left fingertips, or if you have a block you're using at home, left hand can be on top of a block. Right arm to the sky, so revolve lunge or twisted lunge. Keep your back leg really strong and your back foot really powerful. Squeeze through your inner thighs. You can stay right here, or option to turn it into a variation of twisted triangle pose. So you're gonna scoot your left hand back just a little bit and then start to straighten your front leg. So really think of lifting your right sit bone up and pressing the top of your right thigh back. Back leg stays strong, you're still on your back toes. Twist from your center, maybe gaze up at your right hand. Take two more deep breaths wherever you're at. Use your exhales to twist and wring out. Very end of your second exhalation, unwind, wide-legged forward fold. So hands come all the way over to the left side of your mat. Parallel your feet, straighten out your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Pause in your halfway lift, so all 10 toes should be facing directly forward. Bring just a little tiny bend into your knees. Think of sticking your butt way out behind you and then see if you can reach your arms out to the right and to the left. Palms face the ground. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine. Imagine you're trying to press the backs of your hands up towards the ceiling, and then at the same time, chest down towards the ground. Now, see if you can keep all this length in your spine. Work your legs to straight. So press back through the tops of your thighs, broaden through your sit bones. Take one more big, deep breath. End of your exhale, let it go. Wide-legged fold. You've got about 5 rounds here. You can go wherever you would like. So feel free to move and explore. Feel free to just be still. Make sure your breath is right there with you. Good job, you guys. Last couple of rounds. Next inhale, halfway lift, and just keep your fingertips on the ground this time. Crawl your hands to the top of your yoga mat. Rotate your toes to face forward. All right, from here, we're going to move into a warrior 3 variation. So just start to crawl your hands forward, float your back leg up. So it's not standing splits. Think warrior 3 with fingertips on the ground, or if you have blocks at home or books you're using, then your hands are on your blocks. So hips are square, inner thighs face each other. Bring your right hand up to your sacrum, or think low back, just very low back, and see if your hips are square. So if left hip is higher than right, lower it down, press back with your left foot. Now see if you can start to twist to the right. So think of pulling, and you might actually use your right hand to push your right hip back. So think of pulling your right hip towards the back of your mat, and then eventually right arm to the sky, revolved half moon. Back leg stays strong. Squeeze through your inner thighs. Lengthen through your spine. Stomp back with your left foot. Reach up through your right fingertips. Take just 2 more rounds. Good job, you guys. Stick with me. Listen here. End of your next exhale. Bring your right hand down to the ground or to a block. Left hand to left hip. And start to peel your left hip open. Stack left hip on top of right. Eventually left arm to the sky. You want to take the bind, you're more than welcome to. You've got about 3 breaths. So wherever you want to go, and if that means you're falling in and out, no big deal. That's fine. That's part of the practice. If you are holding your left foot, slowly re-extend. Everybody, take one last big inhale. Maybe lift your left leg higher. Exhale, forward fold. So bring your left foot down next to your right foot. Big toes touch, little gap in between your heels. Curl into a little ball. So tuck and curl, butt towards the ground, nose towards your knees. Breathe. So if you would like, you can bring your your arms around the fronts of your shins. Just give yourself a great big squeeze. If you feel like you need to leave your hands on the ground to help with balance, then you can cross your hands in front of you. So either wrist on top of the other, and then your arms wrap around your legs. Squeeze in. Breathe into your back body. Stretch your back ribs with your breath. Exhale, find your very center. So draw navel to spine and get even smaller. Take 2 more rounds here. So how much awareness can you find in just this little tiny potato bug ball? Next time you breathe in, halfway lift. So set your heels down, bring your spine parallel to the earth. Exhale, fold. Root through your feet, rise all the way up. Keep your big toes touching. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, inhale, take your arms to the sky. And then exhale, sit back into chair pose with your hands at your heart center. So weight in your heels, butt reaches back rather than knees coming way forward. So butt back, heart lifted, hands at heart center. I want you to keep your hands at your heart. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, hinge at your hips and twist to the right. Hover your left elbow above your right knee. Take a full round of breath, hold. Squeeze your inner thighs, see if you can twist further. Inhale, come back to center, so lift your heart up. Exhale, hinge slightly forward as you twist to the left. Hover your right elbow above your left knee. Keep your hands right at your heart, spine long. One more deep breath. Squeeze your inner thighs. Inhale back to center. Stay in your legs. Little faster. Exhale to the right. Empty out. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. So try not to use your elbow against your leg as leverage. Just use your core strength. Inhale, high mountain. So come back to center and reach all the way up. Exhale, cactus, your arms open up. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, slow dive all the way down. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Inhale at the top of your push-up. Now listen here. Exhale, come down to your forearms, one forearm at a time. Lift back up onto your palms, one hand at a time. Try to keep your belly really strong as you move. One more time, I keep saying time. One more time, come down to your forearms. And then belly strong, press up to your hands, high plank. Inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly lower. Back bend of your choice. Lift your heart, roll your shoulders back and down. You can take an extra breath or two if you want. And then tabletop, hands and knees. So take a moment, find your strength, your structure. So spread your fingers, push down with your hands. Arms are strong. You're not sinking into your elbow joints or your shoulder joints or your wrist joints. So your muscles are working. Draw a belly button in and up. Now keep all of that. So spine in a neutral position, not rounding, not arching. Left arm forward, right leg back, spinal balance. Reach through your fingers and press with your right foot. Get your right leg as straight as you possibly can. So squeeze through the front of your right thigh. Take one more big inhale. Pull yourself apart. Exhale, elbow to knee. Move through molasses. Curl in. Inhale, re-extend. Get nice and long. Exhale, slow motion, elbow to knee. See if you can round even through your mid-back. Inhale, lengthen. And then last round, elbow to knee. Hollow out. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, set your left hand down. Pivot on your left knee, so left foot to the outside of your mat. Right arm to the sky, modified side plank. So try not to stick your butt out behind you. Press your hips gently forward. Make your right leg really, really strong, so maybe even lift it higher. And then reach your right arm forward. How much length can you create from your fingertips back to your heel or back to your toes? Take one more inhale. Stay here if you want to. Otherwise, bend your right knee, reach back, grab hold of your right foot, kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot, turn your heart, look up at the sky. Take two more full rounds of breath. End of your next exhale, slowly release, unwind, back to hands and knees. I'm not gonna make you do a forearm plank this time since you did those little up and down things. So we'll go straight into our dolphin pose. So come to your forearms. Set up the way you like to. So grab opposite elbows if it's helpful. Interlace your fingers if you're modifying. Otherwise, palms down, fingers spread wide. And intend on pressing down through your inner wrists. They probably won't touch the ground, but at least create that action. So really press through your thumbs and your index fingers. When you're ready, tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips, dolphin pose. So imagine that invisible rope pulling up on your belly button. Walk your toes in as close as you can. Lift your hips as high as you can. Press down through the belly of your forearms. Press down through your thumbs and index. Stay where you're at or left leg to the sky. 3 more deep breaths. You can take little hops if you want to. Everybody, make sure your breath is there. Keep hugging your elbows in. So imagine there's an invisible strap around your upper arms. It's cinching in. One last breath. End of your exhale, both feet down, both knees down, child's pose, embryo pose, or hero's pose. Reconnect to your body, reconnect to your breath. Your next couple of rounds, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. So pause for just a moment, really stretch and strengthen that left leg. Squeeze through the front of your left thigh so your quad is engaged and your knee feels really tight and supported. Press forward and down through your hands. Lift through your belly button. One more inhale. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, or just as close as you can come. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left to left, as high as you can get on your left arm. Inhale, three-legged dog. Last one of practice, knee to your nose, scoop out your belly. Stay here, take a huge inhale, push the ground away. You should be on your back, tippy toes. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Rise up to crescent. So settle in, square your hips, tone your belly, lift your heart. Soften your face, soften your shoulders. Maybe close your eyes for just a moment. Breathe. Take one more inhale. Then as you exhale, turbo twist to the left. So right arm forward, left arm back, back knee bends. Try to pull your back thigh forward, your front hip back, squeeze your inner thighs, right from your belly button, twist, twist, twist. So you can reach your hands further apart, maybe gaze back over your left fingertips. One more round. Maybe back knee kisses the ground. Inhale, crescent lunge, unwind. Exhale, hands come down. Right hand stays rooted, left arm to the sky. You can use a block under your right hand if you want, or any object under your right hand. So left arm reaches up, back leg stays strong, inner thighs squeeze. You can stay in a revolved lunge or start to work your front leg towards straight. So I like to move my right hand back just a little bit. Keep your spine long, keep squeezing through your inner thighs. Imagine you're trying to lift your left sit bone up like there's a string attached to it. And then press your left thigh back. Take two more rounds. Use your last exhale to twist, 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 and then unwind. Wide-legged forward fold. So all the way over to the right side of your mat, parallel your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring that little tiny bend into your knees. Stick your butt out behind you. Reach your arms out to the sides. If you want an even bigger challenge, see if you can reach your arms straight forward like you're doing warrior 3 with your arms. Now, if you can keep your spine nice and long, start to work your legs towards straight by lifting your sit bones up and pressing the tops of your thighs back. Keep your feet rooted. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Wide-legged forward fold, about 4 or 5 breaths. You guys are gonna be super ready for restore. We're almost there. Big, spacious inhales, long, strong exhales. So think of just using your breath to work into your core muscles. So use your core muscles to expand and contract, to hug in, to push out, And then find a softness around it. Next time you inhale, halfway lift, fingertips on the ground. Walk your hands forward, top of your mat, rotate your toes to face forward, and then think warrior 3 with your hands down or fingertips down or hands on blocks. So spine long, back leg long, hips square. Right hand stays under your right shoulder. Bring your left hand up to your low back or to your sacrum and just feel, are my hips square? If not, adjust. Now, start to pull your left hip towards the back of your mat or use your left hand to literally push your left hip back. Twist to the left, reach your left arm to the sky. Keep your back leg strong. Press with your back foot. Twist from your center. Reach up like you want to touch the ceiling with your fingertips. Take one last round. End of your exhale. Unwind. Left hand down. Right hand, right hip. Peel your right hip open, so regular half moon. Eventually, reach your right arm to the sky, and if you want to move into the bind, you're welcome to. If you fall in and out of this pose 10 times, and that's all you do today on your mat, that's fine. That's your practice. Meet yourself there. Breathe. So can you just accept what is, and then soften around it? Not just with your body, with your mind, with your heart. If you're holding your right leg, re-extend it. Everybody take one more inhale, lengthen, exhale, forward fold, big toes touch, tuck and curl, little tiny potato bug ball. So just curl into yourself, maybe arms around your legs, maybe wrists crossed with your fingers down and squeeze. Inhale, halfway lift. So heels down, spine long. Exhale, clench your hands, step back to plank. You can move through a vinyasa or you can skip it. Meet in a child's pose. So give yourself a few deep breaths, just resting. Just allowing your energy to settle and kind of slow down. And then I am going to let Kim take over from here. Thank you so much, you guys.
So give yourself a few more breaths in child's pose. So if you're not already in child's pose, make your way there. You can take your knees a little bit wider and just give yourself permission here just to feel the ground and to notice what is going on in the body and what you've cultivated here in your practice so far, and shifting the energy just a little bit, maybe slowing the breath down, relaxing a little bit, surrendering more to the earth. And let's take maybe 5 more deep breaths here. Allowing the body to become just a little bit more relaxed with each breath. And you're welcome to exhale out the mouth a time or two, just to release and to cleanse. And on your next in-breath, everybody, go ahead and come back up to hands and knees. And let's take the hips, take the pelvis in a big, broad circle going clockwise. Big circle. And there is no rush. You can take as long as you like. You can pause anywhere along the way. You feel a nice stretch through the hip or the side body or the shoulder. Good. And then pause and just switch directions. So go the other way, counterclockwise. And again, it's not about how many rotations you do. It's not about quantity, but about quality. Feeling each breath, each sensation, each movement here. Good. So finish out this last breath. Come back to center, back to neutral. Take your knees a little bit wider, setting up your foundation. Inhale, reach your right arm all the way up, fingertips toward the sky. Exhale, thread the needle, right arm underneath your left. But don't stay there. We're going to inhale and come right back out, stretch the arm back up toward the ceiling. And again, exhale, thread the needle. I'm just doing a little repetition here. It's vinyasa krama. Let's do one more of these. So inhale, stretch up, maybe just a little higher, a little more open. Exhale, thread the needle. And this time you'll stay for several breaths. So let the body rest. You can be a little more passive with this, or maybe you want to kick your left toes out and push more onto the shoulder, upper back. So take your time feeling into this personalized version of your thread the needle, your arm and shoulder stretch. Maybe getting into the side of the neck or your upper back. Feel into the quality of your breath. Good, you guys. Last full breath here. Find your edge. And then let's go ahead and unwind out of that. Stretch the right arm back out. Reach it up and open. And bring the right hand back to the floor, coming all the way down to the belly. And extending the right arm out to right for our shoulder pigeon. So left hand to the ground, gently push over toward that right hip and side body. You can be a little more, again, a little more passive here, coming into a tuck or a side fetal position, or maybe you point that left knee up and continue to open through the front of the shoulder and the chest. You might even explore a bind here, bending that left leg, reaching back for the foot with the hand. That is just an option. Finding the optimal stretch for you in the front of your right shoulder. Deep and steady breaths here. Just notice whatever there is to notice here in the front of the arm, the shoulder, the chest, extending all through that right arm. 2 more deep breaths here. Good, and then gently ease on back to the belly. Take a breath here, just feeling the ground, belly and chest down. And then you're going to press back up to hands and knees. Nice. And when you come back up to hands and knees, we're going to revisit the hip circles. Okay, so go start with your clockwise direction. You can even sit all the way back toward a child's pose when your hips go back. And you might even go all the way into a little cobra as the hips move forward. So you can even broaden and expand this movement a little bit if you'd like. And again, quality over quantity here. Let's pause and move the other direction. Good. Finishing out this last round that you're on. Take your knees a little wider. And we're going to inhale, reach the left arm out and up. Open through the chest here. Lift. And then as you exhale, thread the needle. So that left arm underneath your right. Good. And then come back out as you inhale. Extend that left arm back out. Reach fingertips to sky. And then exhale, thread the needle. Good. One more round here. Just doing this repetition movement on this side. Reach as tall as you can. And then as you exhale, that left arm underneath your right. And you'll stay here for several breaths. And once again, you could keep this a little more passive, or you could extend your right toes out to the right and kick using that leverage to push a little bit more into your left shoulder. Good. Taking one last breath here and thread the needle. Let's go ahead and unwind out of that. Send the left arm back out, reach it up. And left hand back to the ground. Good, you guys. Once again, you're going to come down all the way down to your belly. Stretch your left arm out to the left, setting up for shoulder pigeon. So gently shift over toward your left hip, left side of your head. Again, you can come into more of a tuck, more of a fetal position with your knees together. Or maybe you point your right knee up toward the ceiling and continue to open. Maybe that's where you stay. Or you could even come into this half bow. There's no pressure to go further, to go deeper. It's just a personal choice. Find your own individual expression and relationship with this shoulder opener. Coming back to the presence and the quality of your breath. Good. One more full breath here. And let's gently make our way back to the belly. And before you transition or go anywhere, just feel the ground. Maybe even spread the arms out and like you're hugging the earth. Giving a couple more breaths here. Good. Making your way gently back up to your hands and knees. And I'd like for you to transition now onto your backs. So go ahead and recline on back, hugging the knees in toward the chest. And you're welcome to rock side to side here for just a moment, massaging around your sacrum and around your lower back. Maybe circling the knees around, inviting this gentle massage or gentle pressure around the sacrum. Good. You can pause and go the other direction. And during any of this movement, if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes and just really tune into the breath, please do that. Good, you guys. Release out of that. Place your left foot on the ground. You're going to cross outer ankle over top the right leg for a figure 4 reclined pigeon. So you can keep your left foot on the ground, or you could pick up the left foot, reach your hands around the leg and gently guide this shape a little bit closer to your chest. And sometimes it's helpful to keep the feet flexed back, the feet active, the toes flexed back. And breathe here. And sometimes in this posture, I like to move a little bit side to side. So if that speaks to you tonight, if that appeals to you, you can add a little bit of movement here. Let's try to keep the head relaxed, the neck and the jaw at ease. Good. Take one more full breath here. And we're going to release out of that. Let the left leg just stretch out long to the floor. Pull your right knee in toward the chest. And we're going to draw big circles here with the right knee. So you're moving through the right hip joint. Broad circles here. Perfect. Go the other direction if you haven't already. Nice. And then I'd like for you to lift your foot up. See if you can grab a hold of your right foot only for a half happy baby pose. So the sole of the right foot faces up toward the ceiling. The right leg is bent and you're pulling that right knee out to the right as though you're trying to bring the right knee to the floor, to the outside of the ribs or even the outside of the shoulder. I like to place my left hand on my left hip just to try to stabilize and even out my pelvis. But really targeting the stretch and the opening through the right hip. Let's take maybe 3 more breaths here. See if you might soften around the edges just a little bit, using your breath. Good. Last one here. Let go of the foot and just let your legs stretch up toward the ceiling. Feel your hamstrings, your foot and your ankle. You can move around a little bit. Eventually, we're going to take this entire right leg over to the left for a twist. You can do this with the leg straight or bent or crossed over the left leg. So taking this supine twist of choice. If the leg is straight, you want to reach for the toes with that left hand, you're welcome to do that. Continue to draw that right hip down just a little bit away from the ribs and the shoulder. Cleansing breaths here in your twist. Just noticing in your body where you can continue to release tension or angst or stuckness, physically or energetically here. In your last full breath, take a deep breath in and let a sigh out your mouth and just let it cleanse. Good. Go ahead and pull this right knee back in toward the chest. And stretch your right leg out long. Let's give a nice, deep Saturday morning stretch here. So reach the arms up and back and lengthen from top to bottom. And then we'll bring the arms down. Bring the soles of the feet back to the ground. And cross the left ankle over top the right. So starting our figure 4 reclining pigeon stretch on this side. Right foot can stay down, or you can pick it up, reaching the hands around the right leg, keeping the feet flexed back and active. And feel everything there is to feel in and around your left hip joint. So if it helps you to bring a little bit of movement, a little gentle rocking, side to side, or in a circle, you can work with that. And you really be intuitive and feeling into your own body. Maybe this hip feels different. Maybe your left hip is tighter than your right, or vice versa. You're just noticing that without judgment, just really tuning in to what the present moment experience offers. Good. A couple more deep, deep breaths here. Good. And then release out of that. Stretch your right leg out long to the floor and pull the left knee in toward the chest. And you're going to take some big circles with this left knee, moving through the left hip joint. Good. Pause and go the other direction. And then pick up your left foot and work into your half happy baby. So grab a hold of your left foot if you can. Pull your knee out wide and down, like you're trying to draw your left knee toward the outer left ribs or shoulder. The sole of the left foot faces up toward the ceiling. Breathing here into that left side, that left hip. Maybe place your right hand on the right hip or the right side of the pelvis just to help stabilize and even out your hips. Let's take maybe 3 more deep breaths here. Good, and then release the foot, stretch your left leg up toward the ceiling. Move through your foot and your ankle. Feel your left leg and hamstrings. And then you're going to take your entire left leg over for your twist, your spinal twist. And again, that left leg can be bent, it can be straight. You can wrap that left leg around your right, coming into your spinal twist of choice. If the left leg is straight, maybe grab a hold of the toes with your right hand and continue to draw your left hip down, away from the ribs, away from the shoulder. Just noticing again what there is to release, what there is to let go of here for these last few breaths. And your last one here, everybody really take that full breath in and send it out the mouth, let it release. Good. Bring your left knee back in and stretch the left leg out long to the floor. Reach your arms up and back. Reach to the fingers, reach to the toes. Like you're trying to pull the body apart. And then exhale, let your arms release and relax down along your sides. So take any last little movement that you'd like to hear. If there's anything that feels a little bit unfinished or stuck or anything you'd like to work into. And then we are going to allow the body to settle into Shavasana, corpse pose. Make sure your sound is up, you guys, because we got a special voice all the way from Kauai joining us for Shavasana.
Can I come to ears and your mouth and your nose, head and your shoulders, your knees and your toes. I dream of this moment. Will it come true? The whole world, they know it. They just waiting for me and you. And she, just like I, got her head in the clouds. Don't need to be lower before it's all over. I promise we'll figure it out. I ain't coming down. Why would I need to? So much of this world is above us, baby. They might tell you that I went crazy, just trying to read you. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, well, I know we try, and the days they go by until it gets old. There's water in the flowers, let's grow people, they lie. Well, hey, so do I. Until we get old, there's water in the flowers, let's grow. Let it go, let it be. We're all we need today. Let it go, let it be. Yeah, sometimes I get lonely, not when I'm alone. But it's more when I'm standing in crowds that I'm feeling the most on my own. And I know that somebody knows me. I know somewhere there's home. I'm starting to see all that I have to do is get up and go. Going, going, going before I'm gone. Gotta get going, going, going before I'm gone. Yeah, well, I know we try, and the days they go by until they get old. There's water in the flowers, let's grow people, they lie. Well, hey, so do I. Until we get old, there's water in the flowers, let's grow. Let it go, let it be. We're all we need today. Let it go, let it be.
Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. That's our beloved Rumi. So as you're ready, everybody, you can start to put some breath into the belly. Start to move a little bit through the fingers and the toes and start to open up the senses and make your way over to your side, taking a moment in fetal position. And then all the way back up to your seat. And as you inhale, let's go ahead and extend the arms all the way up, reaching up tall. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Well, that was a treat, Zoe and Papa Warren, my dad, accompanying Zoe with the harmonica. Let's finish all together, connected